Function, pumping and dumping, manipulate the market, flooded from the darknet, flooded from the deep web, keep it a secret, every exchange got the nerdy brains trading on the frequent.
All right, let's see how this is going to go. Hopefully the audio works now, because I had to do some adjustments. This is going to be a very interesting stream. Perfect. Yep, audio works. Yay. It's nice. This is kind of a weird thing, because my week has been a giant hell that I guess, even with the delay, I got to announce that there was going to be a half-hour delay beforehand, and everything's to be working out. So cross your fingers. It's spooky season. Always usually works out for me anyhow. So, hello. Welcome to the DCG 201 live stream. Let me do a quick spiel about who we are and what we're about to do for tonight's live stream. Most people refer to me as Sidepocket. I am one of the two co-founders of DCG 201, formerly known as DEF CON 201 or DC 201 if you prefer. We are one of the many DEF CON groups that exist across the United States and around the world as sort of like a hacker meetup. We tinker with technology, whether it's through code, whether it's through hardware. We explore new frontiers of technologies. To use a quote from horror movie icon Pinhead, hackers are kind of explorers to the extremes of experience, demons to some and angels to others, and we're definitely going to be looking into the aspect tonight. If you want to know more about our group, including some of the stuff that we're going to be updating about later this week, again, our website is still in the works, and that just happened. Oh, joy. Oh, this is fun. See, I told everyone to cross their fingers, and this happened, so I will give you it. Just give me one moment here. I have to do some absolutely hilarious housekeeping right now that I literally did not see that coming, unlike Hasanabi. So just give me a moment. But I will go through kind of, I guess, while I load this up, the rest of what we're kind of doing today. So we normally live stream our meetings, and I know that we haven't been really having meetings recently, just literally because of my scheduling and everyone else's scheduling and venue changes and stuff like that. However, we do have multiple different types of shows. Oh, hold on a second. And this show that we normally live stream second to fourth Saturday every month, but because I had my day off today, I decided to stream it on Monday, because today is Diwali, so happy Diwali for everyone who celebrates that out there. Maybe we'll take a look at that near the end of the episode so people know what it is or not. So now I can share the website and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. What is it? Sorry, not sorry. It says thank you, not thank you for that one. So if you want to check us out, as I said again, you can go to our blog, and I just posted the link there. We're also all over different types of social media. Our two most popular ones are on Twitter at DEFCON201NJ and on Instagram at DEFCON201, but we also have our own GitHub, which we're going to be looking at in a bit. We're on the whostux.social instance of Mastodon. We're on minds.com. We're on all sorts of different social media. If you want to follow us on all the different ones, I just posted the giant master list, which is linktree, linktr.ee/defcon201. You could click the link in chat. A few more bits of, just general cleanup here. If you like all the content that you're going to see today, including all of our future content, and you also want to get notifications and updates on when we go live, because our schedule, especially recently, has been crazy, you can for free. Like, share, and subscribe to us on any of our major platforms, Twitch, DLive, or YouTube. We'll get notifications for those when we do go live, and I'll cheer you on and stuff. We're also streaming on a bunch of alternative platforms, and one of them, even though they're not that alternative, is Boomerbook, also known as Facebook. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, first of all, my condolences. I know that's sort of hell, but we have to go where people are, and there are a bunch of hackers that only unfortunately have Facebooks. You are able to chat with us, but because Facebook is a piece of shit, you sort of have to hack Facebook in order to get it to work with our streaming. So I just posted the link in chat where you can go if you're on Facebook, or if you're having trouble with chat in general, and you can click on there and go and chat. I won't be able to see a direct username, which is great for privacy, but you'll be able to interact with me. In addition, we are streaming up until October, although I might extend it for about a week or two, for charity. We are raising money, and I will get into that a little bit later on in the episode, for the National Abortion Federation, because of the whole SCOTUS ruling. Not only is it a disservice for just any American with a uterus, never mind all these spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends of people who have uteruses, but it also destroyed a huge privacy right in the United States in general, regardless if you have a uterus or not. And that which is what they're doing now, is they're greatly expanding the Patriot Act because of it. We'll get into that in a bit, but just to put it out there, if you are interested in donating like $1, $5, $1 billion, whatever, we just post the link into chat through Tiltify, which is the third party that we are handling the money for. We're trying to reach 400, but even if we don't make that, any money that we make by the end of the fundraising drive, we will donate all of that directly to the National Abortion Federation. You can also scan that QR code in the corner. That we promise it's not a page attack. It will literally open up to the Tiltify. And if you're on Twitch, there is a widget below. We're going to be pointing about the widgets often, where you can directly donate. Finally, last two things. One is I love an active chat. I love talking with all of you. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. So if you have any questions about, what t-shirt I'm wearing here, what company is this on my logo, what's with my crazy hair that keeps getting in the way of my eyes, any of the stuff that we're talking about tonight, or cryptocurrency or blockchain in general, don't be afraid to ask questions in chat. Otherwise, as I always say, if you're just here to lurk and learn, then keep lurking and keep learning. Finally, one thing that I did miss when I was talking about the charity for National Abortion Federation is sadly only fiat money. So it's only like dollars, pounds, things like that. Obviously, this is a cryptocurrency show. If you want to donate in cryptocurrency, we have an alternate for you. There's an amazing organization that we're going to look at in a moment called Medical Students for Choice, and the Giving Block, which we covered last year in January. It's probably one of the best things that have, one of the few truly best things that have come out of the blockchain sphere. They are a platform where you can send not only the major cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Monero, DOT, etc., Dogecoin, but also a ton of alternative coins, if those are more your fancy, to a charity. And the charity that we pick, because sadly National Abortion Federation is not on there, is the Medical Students for Choice, which are the doctors and such that actually perform not only abortions, but also just sexual health resources, such as teaching people about puberty, providing resources like condoms, providing different types of surgeries, of odd sorts of things that can go down there that access all people's lives, etc. So I just post the link in chat if you want to donate to there. So let's talk about what tonight's episode is going to be. Well, as you know, this month is spooky season, and as I hinted 2 Saturdays ago, Halloween is fast approaching. It's going to be coming next Monday. I'll be working that day. That's always fun. I get dressed up and I hand out candy to the kids that work at my job. Speaking of my job, I will also let everyone know that I am still in the top secret hacker void base. So we do have security cats that wander around. They patrol for any malicious activity along the place. So if you hear cat sounds, or all of a sudden a cat jumps onto the camera to attack you, it's actually perfectly normal. They are out there searching for malicious packets and malware and all sorts of things that could exist in this void. We also have hackers doing hacker things. So if you hear other human sounds, that crazy stuff going on, don't worry. think of it as a mini DEF CON. It's completely normal. So just putting that out there. So what's going to be today's episode? Well, as I said, this is one of the 2 shows I live stream. This is called Crypto Barons, and this is the show where we look at cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies as technologies. And this came from a frustration of mine and others, where anytime you would hear a cool thing that had to do with blockchain tech or Web3, and you're like, oh boy, I want to see this tech, I want to see how it works, you would go search for it, and there would just be endless Google or DuckDuckGo pages of just nonstop snake oil salesmen. You go onto YouTube, it's all about bear markets and buying drips and horrible dumb memes, and this show is not it. We sometimes look into community stuff, and yes, sometimes we look into a bit of the finance angle. However, this show is about the actual technologies. We read white papers, we do math in the white papers. If they have a GitHub, which these projects should have them, and there'll be a bunch tonight, we take a look at their code, we see how it works. If there's code to run, if there's wallets, test networks, we attempt to do that. So that's what this show is basically about. And as I said 2 Saturdays ago, spooky season's coming up, Halloween. Particularly in America, although there's a bunch of countries that celebrate it officially and non-officially. And so this is our Halloween-themed episode. Now, I remember a while ago we did Halloween-themed entire months. Instead, what I decided to do this month was kind of condense, especially there was so much news going on earlier this month in the general crypto sphere, to condense all of this into one episode. So this has been, over the course of this year, me finding all sorts of odd, spooky and terrifying blockchain stuff that matches Halloween, whether we're talking about blood or zombies or death or things like that. This is going to be that episode. So this is about, let me count, this is about a 10-month search for all, and some of it's very recent, by the way, all sorts of Halloween and spooky things related to cryptocurrency that is shockingly not, at least except for one segment, about all the crazy hacks and snake oil salesmen and stuff, which is already scary enough, but this is like really Halloween themed. So with all that out of the way, let's get right into the meat of today's episode here. So we're going to go to desktop mode here, and I just realized I didn't do the stinger, so here we go. Hacksaw activate. All right, so now we've moved over. As I said, that's the blog page that we're currently kind of using as a main website. That should be updated either on Monday or Tuesday to make an announcement about if we're having a meeting this week, what does that entail, all sorts of stuff like that. So stay tuned. I have been thinking about and trying to do stuff at the meetings. We'll give an update on that. We'll also give an update on social media. But as I said earlier in the episode, we are raising money for the National Abortion Federation. This is their website. And as I said earlier, and I'm going to be repeating and posting the links as we stream this episode. So if you haven't been under a rock, a couple of months ago, SCOTUS, the United States Supreme Court, that has always been a joke and has gotten even more of a joke ever since a certain president took over and a certain other president has been not doing anything. They basically overturned Roe v. Wade, and now basically it's up to states to allow if they have abortions, and a lot of just general sex education stuff, whether you're male or female, falls under the abortion category, which means the usual suspects of terrible states. Thank God not New Jersey. How the heck did New Jersey become like the okay state out of the nation in the past 5 years? I have no idea, but more power to us. But as I digress, this is not here to gloat about how great New Jersey is. I do that every episode. This is in particular about all the other states, which I have relatives in, who are not only at risk because they either have uteruses or are married or are brothers or sisters or their parents have uteruses. But even if you don't have a uterus, let's say you're like me, which is what we consider a cis male, right? Roe v. Wade was instated under a clause in, if I remember correctly, our Fourth Amendment, under the filing of privacy for general American citizens, no matter what your background is. By dismantling this, with combination with our favorite terrible law, the Patriot Act, why I consider it's one of the 3 heads of the apocalypse: the Patriot Act, Sesta Fosta, and I'm missing one. There's the Sesta Fosta and It's coming to me. Hold on. The Patriot Act, Sesta Fosta, and for some reason I'm forgetting one right now, but there's just a bunch of terrible American rulings and laws, and that's one of them. So in combination with the Patriot Act, now the U.S. government can legally spy on what's considered your main living space, which is how they identify a living room, which could really be any room that you live in, and just basically say you might be doing some illegal sex things without any evidence, and now they can unceremoniously spy on you. So even if you file suit federally in the United States against that, let's say you're just on Facebook and you make a boner joke, and now all of a sudden you've been spied on for the past 8 months, you can't do anything, because despite you being a cis male born with a ding dong and everything, the Roe v. Wade ruling says we can spy on you anytime we want. So this is a good example of this affecting everybody. And I'm going to post the links and give an example of something that's immediately happened, and then we'll go right into the news. So once again, if you want to donate fiat money to the National Abortion Federation, which provides not only boots on the ground and legal team, they're kind of like the reproductive version of the EFF in terms of people's rights, but they also just provide resources for just sex education in general and things like that. So it's like abortion's a big scary word, even though this is the spooky episode, so we're not shying away from that. However, they do a lot more than that. So again, if you have $1, $5, $10, $1 billion, any amount will go towards this through Tiltify. Now, again, we're a cryptocurrency show. As I said previously, I have crypto. I don't believe in the central banking finance market, even though cryptocurrency is slowly becoming that. What can I do, because I can't use Tiltify, whether it's scanning the QR code, clicking the link in chat, or using our widget on Twitch? Well, in addition to, which I keep forgetting this, we do have a bunch of cryptocurrency wallets on our Twitch and our DLive, where you can directly send us various types of cryptocurrency. But you do have an option where if you can't do the National Abortion Federation, you can do an alternative, which is Medical Doctors for Choice, which, remember how I said the National Abortion Federation provides resources for doctors and such? This organization is one of those organizations, and they directly donate, advocate for reproductive health, and provides comprehensive sexual and reproductive health services and education, not only in the United States, but around the world. And the Giving Block, which I'm actually going to post in the URL here, so you can see that this is a real URL, allows you to donate, whether it's major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Litecoin, DOT, Doge, Ethereum, etc., or various, because there's a million of them, and I'm going to bring up the list here on the right. There's a ton of cryptocurrency, as you can see here, that gets accepted. I see Tezos, which we covered 2 episodes ago, Quaint, Curve DAO, Ren, Orchid, still the love potions from the scam known as Axiom Infinity, Magic Internet Money, which is one of my favorite names, Uma, Lido, just a ton of different cryptocurrency types. So you really have no excuse. You can send those coins over to here, show us the receipts, and we will cheer you on. Oh, did I forget that if you donate through the Tiltify with fiat money, we get a notification just like if you follow us on Twitch, DLive, and YouTube. And instead of just simply cheering you on, I worship you the entire episode, just pointing that out there. And before we go to our main topic, just to give you a good example of, oh, you're just speculating here. You're blowing this out of proportion. The flaccid penis and unloaded gun known as Florida, United States tonsils essentially for test subjects that have failed. Basically, Florida, thank God for Disney, or otherwise we'd be worse than Alabama, has already done a move where, in order to eject trans people, using the SCOTUS ruling, all athletes in Florida, starting with student athletes, but then they're going to expand this to major sports in about a year or two, especially with midterms, go vote in midterms, kick these assholes out, are forcing children who have uteruses, like cis women in particular, to use a period app, which that app has been proven to data mine in the exact same way Facebook and TikTok and other horrible, Google and Meta tracking services have, if they want to participate in sports, which should be available to anyone, especially people with uteruses such as cis women. So this is already starting to change horribly our landscape. And us as hackers, anytime people in power do a dick move, we make them as flaccid as Florida. So that's why we're raising money towards this, just to show you a concrete example of what we're talking about here and what your money and cryptocurrency is going to be donated to fight against. Now that we got that out of the way, and I will be dropping the links every like 20 minutes or so, let's go into all the spooky stuff with today's episode. So I actually want to start off with two happy things first that are Halloween related before we get into some of the weirder and definitely crazier stuff that I have found over the course of the year. So the first thing is super lighthearted. This actually happened 2 years ago. I somehow missed this article. I don't know if anyone's doing this, especially with how much Bitcoin has shot up, but I'm very much would like to see this. Who knows? Maybe I'll do this for Halloween, and with consent and permission of the people I hand this to, I might record this and I'll air this on Next Crypto Barons. Maybe we'll do this for a Halloween episode next year. Let's find out, but I think this is kind of cool. So in Canada, you know, America's more balanced hat, Brad Mills, who's this giant cryptocurrency crazy person, tech fiend, got, which you can apparently get, Bitcoin gift cards. I imagine you're putting like quarters of Satoshis on there, because if you put like one Bitcoin on a gift card, you're basically walking with a giant suitcase of millions of dollars at this point. However, he added roughly $200 in Bitcoin gift cards and gave them out to just kids on Halloween along with the candy and stuff. And just in case you think this is BS, provided it loads, here is a video of Brad Mills actually putting this stuff together. So let's watch this real quick here. Let me just change some stuff around.
Bitcoin card though. You actually? Yeah. Is there something else? Oh, I just got $100 Bitcoin card. I need your light. Oh, hey, you! Hey, you! What? Bitcoin! Give me Bitcoin! What's the Bitcoin? Dude, what's Bitcoin? Bitcoin! Give me Bitcoin! Dude, what's Bitcoin? Wait, got it! Yes! Last one! There's none left. What's a Bitcoin? There's no more Bitcoin! What's a Bitcoin? There was only two. What's Bitcoin? There's none left. You can sell them. What? What? Reese's was made $100. Hey, can you guys? Oh, so did Julian.
So yeah, first of all, that is actually what I would expect to if someone had a physical box of cryptocurrency in real life. The type of characters that I'd imagine who would literally come to this physical crypto faucet to pick up pieces of cryptocurrency, which is basically, if I remember correctly, a spooky ghost, a melted Power Ranger, a miniature bully who is a cross between Elon Musk and Biff from Home Alone, and a giant inflatable chicken. Those are the exact characters I would expect to root around in a candy box finding Bitcoin cryptocurrency gift cards on Halloween. Also, props for doing this, by the way, Brad. Negative points for believing in a completely decentralized privacy future under blockchain cryptocurrency and yet having a ring device, which ring devices, if you haven't known, are notorious for basically they're literal spy cameras that you yourself buy and participate in. And anytime the authorities think that they want to check your ring camera, they can, but basically out not using a warrant. There's that. Also, they get hacked into all the time. It's kind of creepy. Hacking in Halloween, someone's watching the kids on a porch. Not cool. So you might want to consider just getting a webcam and hacking the crap out of it and using that as your security cam instead of using a goddamn ring device. So just a little bit of hypocrisy there, but cool idea. Maybe I'll try a sample of it this year. Maybe we'll do it next year for Crypto Barons in 2023 during October Halloween spooky season. Who knows? I just thought it was really cool. So let's move on to the next probably positive thing. Now, you probably have heard of, and I almost debated of making this its own page about vampire hacks, which is an actual thing. It's basically vampires exist in the crypto world. They literally, instead of sucking blood, they basically drain cryptocurrency wallets, and there's a bunch of different hacks that you can do in order to do that, right? Well, while they usually mean vampire in a metaphorical sense, what about actual vampirism? What about using blockchain for blood? This is actually a real thing. This right here is if it loads properly, is a amazing research paper that was posted a couple of years back earlier, updated earlier this year, but it was posted back in 2021. That's called Bloodchain, a blood donation network managed by blockchain technologies. Now, we're not going to go, for the sake of time, through the whole thing. I am going to read pieces of it. Actually, let's read the abstract, and I'll explain why this is actually not a terrible idea for a change. Due to the abstract reads, because I'm having a hard time zooming in properly on it, I'll try to make it a little bit bigger. I think that's as good as it's going to... Okay, so that's the best we're going to get for now, but I'm going to read it for everyone here. The abstract reads, due to the rapid change of population structure leading to lower birth rates and quick aging rates, the demand for blood supply is increasing significantly. In most countries, blood quality and origin are managed by Blood Management Information Services, or BMISs. When I worked in medicine, I'm very, unfortunately, familiar with these systems, such as, various national authorities and certain third-party organizations. Nevertheless, the traditional system has limitations in the field, such as lack of detailed blood information, making it a challenge to manage blood supply, quality, and demand. Hence, to solve these issues, this paper proposed a blockchain-based system called Bloodchain, an improved system to support blood information management, providing more detailed information about blood, such as blood consumption and disposal. Bloodchain exploits private blockchain techniques with a limited number of relatively fast and reliable participants, making them suitable for business-to-business transactions. In this paper, we also developed a proposed system, blah, 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 blah. Basically, why would you use blockchain in order to track medical blood supplies, blood bags, things like that? Well, as was stated, particularly in countries that exist in Africa, countries that exist in East Asia, the Middle East, and even in the Midwest of the United States, let's put it that way, the old systems are so bureaucratic, so far behind the medical stuff, they get hacked all the time really easy. In fact, I would barely call. You can use a lot of CSS and JavaScript to modify this stuff. I shit you not. It is really, really badly designed. And so every year, we just lose blood supplies. We'll literally pack bags of blood and ship them to the Ukraine or to Palestine, or, let's even say recently because of the disasters, Florida and Puerto Rico. And like 1/4 of all the blood we send that people donated disappears. And nobody knows if they just simply got lost, if they ended up being stolen, put on the black market. Nobody knows, because despite these supposed tracking systems that we've had since the 70s, even with certain upgrades in technology, we have a hard time tracking this. We lose a lot to the black market, we lose a lot in general, and it's very slow to deploy thanks to all the bureaucracy. And believe it or not, blockchain, as we discussed on our first episode when we coded a blockchain in real time, is actually a really good suitable tech for this. Because trust me, on this show, you have seen me and others shoot down really dumb ideas of using blockchain and especially cryptocurrency to do a lot of stuff that most normal systems could do. A good one was a couple of episodes ago last year where we looked at a cryptocurrency that was trying to solve poverty by giving cryptocurrency in people's hands that people could use as funds, but the trade-off is that you scan the biometric data in your eyes. Essentially, they're trying to out meta in their privacy and tracking stuff and exploiting poor people at the same time. Plus, in order to do that, why don't you just give them money? Even if it was cryptocurrency, you could just give them a wallet with an address. You could give them a Trezos. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff. And there's a lot of things where there's blockchain that should not have this. Hey there, MMLVX. So you were like, I don't know what you mean embarrassing for. I don't know if you mean about the blood losing, but it is very embarrassing, especially like, and when I'm talking about like, by the way, these blood, as they call it, I'm trying to remember the name now, blood management information systems, which still use like barcodes and physical ID numbers, like things that like Target and CVS don't even quite use anymore. They don't even have QR codes, I want to add, for a lot of these. And I'm not talking about that this is handled by like some third world nation. This is the United States BMIS system. This is the UK's. This is Australia's. This is Germany's. These are sometimes coalitions of these countries, and they just can't track anything properly. With the blockchain, basically how this would work is each bag's ID is part of the hash on that chain. And because of the immutability of a blockchain, you can actually directly compare the ID for that, in addition to having the barcode and serial numbers to that particular point on the chain. If you add cryptographical stuff to that, which this paper also proposes, you have a very solid system of not only something that is more durable and hack-proof, but you can directly ID bags, so you can track them truly every step of the way. Because again, we've used barcodes and stuff. They failed. So we're not saying, oh, this is actually a better system. And because that with the blockchain, a medical facility can just instantly write stuff to the chain once the gas fee goes, which would be provided by the organization doing the medical fee, so that way it just doesn't go. Maybe it's like a certain amount, so that way also they don't oversend blood, by the way. So, but it would be an internal thing. You would send the packet, you can just send the packets on their merry way, and the organization receiving it can then confirm it using the same sort of Sally and Bob systems that we talked about in the past. And the best part is that there's no one in there, whether it's a corporation or a government, rubber stamping everything along the way, because thanks to the fact that you can ID stuff with the hashes, you can just basically auto rubber stamp it. So you're getting blood supplies and other medical supplies faster out there by removing the bureaucracy and yet adding better oversight and tracking features to this product that people desperately need now and forever. So yes, this, believe it or not, is an actual better system. If you want to read more about the paper, I will post that in chat. But here's the crazy thing. So you're thinking, oh yeah, well, this is a research paper from last year. Like, what has happened since then? Well, believe it or not, can I tell you, there are actually 2 existing companies that started earlier this year that has actually been doing this. And the first one, and probably the more famous one, is LifeBank. This was a company that is still existing. It first got set up in Nigeria because, particularly in Nigeria, this is a huge problem where they get food and blood and other supplies, cleaning supplies, medical supplies, is donated to Nigeria. Also, even internally in Nigeria, like the rich people donate stuff, and it disappears, and like blood and soap ends up in North Korea and parts of China and Russia and other places, terrible places where they shouldn't be. And this Nigerian, who already worked in the medical field and was frustrated about all of the supply chain, made this with a bunch of engineers. And so apparently, from what I have seen, they have improved a ton. You can actually use their website here. You can actually type in your stuff, get a price estimate, and I'll tell you how much it would cost in order to send and stuff. You can enter information and book a demo. And as I said, it's they're located on 1 Colonel Road, Yaba, Laos, Nigeria. They're an actual real company. That's their number and everything. And yeah, and apparently they've recently also expanded to Ethiopia and stuff like that. Oh, I forgot their Medium blog went down recently because they're rebuilding it, kind of like us with our website. But like I said, good on them. So that's one area where they have already implemented this system, this theoretical system, and it's just been working. There's a show here like saving lives, empowering community opportunities, all sorts of stuff. There is also another organization that's been doing this, and that is Connect Health. They called their, so remember how I said, what is it here? Blood chain? Here it is, blood chain. It's been going on since roughly early 2001. Traceability of biological products on the blockchain, registration and identification of products in the biological origin obtained by donors, other sources, and their different parties related to the obtaination and use of these entities, humans, or otherwise individuals, in order to facilitate and access and monitoring the data in this entire chain of collection, production, supply, and utilization of the products of biological origin until the final use of the product. Basically, it's exactly what we were saying before and in the paper. Their blood chain system, I'm trying to get this centered, allows certify and verify the origin of the products and their ingredients or components from the barcode of the product. So the barcode is directly tied into the hash on the chain, so each block is one bag. They've even broken it down, because I've read this, that now they're using a parachain system where its sister chains also have the ingredients for each bag independently. Certification and traceability of the different states throughout manufacturing and supply chains, regardless of the continent and country of origin of each component, overcoming current territorial and administrative barriers, and record changes in ownership and use or destruction, certifying each step from origin to use or destruction. For example, if it expired or was withdrawn. As an example, it allows validating authenticity of COVID-19 vaccines, which they took a part in, use in patients from any airline or hotel in the world, cross-bordered between different databases and regulations. Because that's another thing. When you're donating one country or another to another, there's a ton of red tape. There's a ton of different procedures, and especially if it's bouncing between multiple countries like a vaccine, there's just so much that gets in the way. That was actually a lot of the slowdown with the COVID-19 vaccine. If I remember correctly, they were working on it from March to, if I remember correctly, the actual most of the stuff was done in like August. It then took from August to like November, December to actually do all the red taping between all the countries in order to get it in people's hands. And that was expedited because this was a global emergency, by the way. So that really shows how much this sort of, again, usually people overblow rubber stamping. This is where an actual rubber stamping and bureaucracy actually is really detriment. It's the classic case that people make in cryptocurrency and blockchain of making something that's horribly over bureaucratic more democratized so that it gets out there with similar quality or the same quality faster and possibly cheaper. Except this is an actual working thing instead of whatever snake oil salesman type stuff Binance or some Elon Musk wannabe wants to do. So that's what they're aiming for here. So as we saw, we went from in early 2001 a paper to 2 organizations, one in a country on a continent that really needs this, and another that not only uses this for blood but vaccines and other sorts of medical products to go through a blockchain system in order to be better ID'd than the current system. They also make a bunch of other interesting tech projects too, by the way. Let me see here. Let's click this one. This is Dr. Abral. So this is an actual AI chatbot that basically is a virtual surgical assistant. It's like a Siri for surgeons. Not that, people don't trust in medical teams and stuff, but, by the way, as someone who used to work in medical field, you would be shocked of how many times, like, I'll put it this way, go to your local pharmacist. When they ask a question, watch if they go into the back room, or even better, if they're standing partly behind something like a computer or a desk, watch where their eyes go. Because believe it or not, and this is not a detriment to them because it's a lot of information, when you're asking a medical question, they are going on wikis, including sometimes Wikipedia, to answer your question. So using technologies in order to answer people's problems in terms of the medical field is not anything new. In fact, it happens all the time, and a lot of people don't even realize they're doing it. So Doctoria Albrol is a healthcare chatbot that does a similar thing here. As I said, uses artificial intelligence to a chatbot linked to an ERAS, allowing the patients of this program to decrease insecurity of lack of knowledge of their surgical intervention. So not only can it talk to the medical experts in order to reference things like the way Alexa does, but it can also talk to patients in order to basically break news to them and comfort them. Really fascinating stuff. Yeah, farm tech. Yeah. I was a lead technician, and oh god, crazy stuff. So yeah, this is a pretty cool company. Now, I am totally for this, especially since it's like independent product stuff. Do you want to see a version of Bloodchain? And then we're going to move on to our next topic. That's the evil Sonic CD bad future of this. That where we get to use this for potential evil. It exists, and it's horrifying. And so because it's spooky season, let's take a look at its bastard cousin, done by Lifebank Chain. This is also sort of an irony when you think of what a blockchain is. I'm just going to read the headline, and you can kind of figure out the rest. Storage of genetic data using blockchain. Lifebank Chain is a leading clinic-stage biotechnology company seeking to improve the lives through curative potential of gene and cell therapy. This business is using the same concept of the blood chain, and under the guise of security with this hilarious thing here. Let's see, it says first you solve the gene and cell data security issues, you solve the data accessing, data mining, performance issues, you solve the gene data. So it's the same concept, except they're actually storing people's genetic data into the blockchain. So not only is this a batshit crazy idea that could probably lead to even more abuse than what we normally see in the medical world. Like, do you really trust these people? Again, we're forcing athletes who have uteruses and periods to give their DNA data in order to just exist as women and people with uteruses. But it's mainly targeting women here, like cis women. Now they want to encode this stuff directly on a blockchain where they can't remove it even if they want to. All of your genetic code, if this is, it would be even worse if it's public, like the way Bitcoin is. But if this breaks, security breaks, you'll be able to see everyone's genetic record that's stored on it. It's also kind of hilarious too, considering that this is super simplified, and I'm going to get cursed by a lot of like biohackers and grinders. But technically, a blockchain, or actually even better, a DNA strand, not RNA and stuff, but DNA, is basically two blockchain parachains. Early on, when they used to describe blockchain, they actually compared it to the way DNA stores TCAB coding on it. And so the idea of taking something that's technically on a living biological blockchain and then moving it onto a digital version of itself for evil use, good luck trying to sleep tonight. So that, I just wanted to show, like, oh cool, we're using it to help people in Africa in order for them to get blood. And look, we're helping to get medical supplies, blood, and other things. We developed good tech. And here is, we want to store all your genetics on a chain that will never get edited, and if it breaks out, everyone will be able to read it, and all hell will break loose, voiding P2 laws everywhere. So that's the segment that I have for blood. We have a couple of more stuff. It's pretty neat. The next thing that I would like to talk about, and we're actually going to take a short break while we do this because I have a video to play about this, even though I'm going to be listening and watching it with you. You might see me get up, go somewhere, come back for a couple of seconds. This is a quick one. October, holy crap. October, I mean, cryptocurrency's been particularly struggling in blockchain tech this year. Like, we're really seeing, what do you call it? There's a Batman comic that I can't remember the name of, where it was for a short run. It was really cool, where instead of focusing on Batman and his rogue galleries and his Bat family, it actually focused on the Gotham PD. And there's a very famous issue that was actually used as an inspiration in the movie Dark Knight. Trust me, this is going to relate back in a second, where they have the Joker in holding, and due to his bullshit, he breaks out, and he's holding a police officer hostage, and he has a firearm, and he's shooting at all of them. And one of the things he yells out when he's shooting at all of them, while he's using one as a shield, is, "We're going to find out who wore their protective vests today." And that's what's been kind of going on in the blockchain space. We have been ranting since the show started in May of 2020 about all these companies that either have no security for their blockchain tech, like actual security, or they stupidly think that due to the nature of the crypto part in cryptocurrency, that somehow just having the crypto part, the immutability of the blockchain itself, automatically makes it secure, which it doesn't work that way. And using other ideas like unguarded bridges, which we covered last episode, and things, everything's been going to hell really fast. And in October alone, there were 4 different groups that got, and remember, this isn't even the stuff we covered last episode with the bridges. 4 other major blockchain projects were all hacked into horribly. This obviously scares a ton of people. And I can read all through this, but I want to get through some of the other stranger, spookier topics because we're basically halfway done with the episode. So don't take my word for it. We're going to watch a quick video of an awesome YouTuber that I follow. You should check their content out. I'm going to put the link in the recorded description after this episode airs, of this dude explaining for like 5 minutes all these different hacks that happened in October, not covering the ones that we did 2 episodes ago. Actually, yeah, sorry. Yeah, 2 episodes. No, an episode ago. So that's not even covering that. So let's take a look on how much cryptocurrency and blockchain tech got truly fucked in the spooky month of October alone.
We've had yet another project being hacked or exploited on the same day. Let's dive in. Considering the amount of DeFi hacks tripled in 2021 with no sign of slowing down in 2022, the real question here is, why have there been so many hacks in the first place? It's down to many factors, including lack of necessary audits, relying on oracles, and using untested technology like blockchain bridges and complex smart contracts. Some are even speculating that these hacks are inside jobs, maybe from devs who purposely leave a loophole in the code that they can come back to and exploit. Meanwhile, on Twitter, yet another line of questioning has been about the devs' competence. And finally, there's the issue of devs not being incentivized enough to prioritize finding these exploits. Now let's get down into the nitty-gritty of the 4 hacks. Starting with Mango, a DEX on the Solana blockchain, you can argue here that what happened isn't really a hack. Instead, a rogue trader capitalized on low liquidity and manipulated the market to steal around $100 million. After a meteoric rise which saw the coin price 10x in an hour, Mango's MNGO token crashed roughly 38% before rebounding a bit, but the damage had already been done. Now for a quick recap of the events. The Mango story begins back in March, when a community member on the public Discord channel literally laid out how the exchange could be hacked step by step. The post was possibly found by a deep-pocketed hacker who managed to follow these instructions, eventually creating a $480 million Mango perp or perpetual position before counter-trading themselves from a different account. The next step was simply price manipulation across a number of exchanges by borrowing against the unrealized MNGO gains, which let them drain the protocol. Since then, some juicy developments have followed, and the hacker even offered to return the funds on the condition that no criminal charges are pursued. Then, to rub salt into the wound, he used the stolen funds to create a DAO vote on how Solana's debt problems should be handled, and even voted for his own solution. Galaxy is the leading Web3 credential data network in the world. This was to engage on Temple DAO's Stacks protocol was another name that suffered after being hacked for approximately $2.3 million on Tuesday. Although they only lost a small fraction of the roughly $57 million of TVL, the loss of reputation is likely to sting for much longer. What's curious about the Stacks protocol hack was actually the simplicity of it. You see, the migrate stake function in the smart contract didn't contain any checks, not at all to see if the old staking parameter was even valid, meaning literally anyone could create a smart contract and randomly deposit funds into their own account. Next, we had the Rabby wallet exploit, where an attacker reportedly discovered a loophole in the Rabby swap contract, which enabled them to arbitrarily transfer other users' funds. After the attacker stole $200,000 from multiple chains, the funds were cleverly funneled through Tornado Cash. And last but not least, the QAM platform bridge was also exploited in the early hours of the same morning, losing 1.4 billion QANX tokens worth over $1 million. The attack ended up causing the token price to plunge 95%. The QAM platform ironically positions itself as being an attack-resistant blockchain aided by quantum computing power. It's worth mentioning that these figures pale in comparison to the 2 million BNB tokens that were illegally minted earlier this week, worth just over $500 million. Now, the thing is, these exploits have been going on for a while. Chainalysis Senior Director of Investigations Eric Plant pointed out earlier this year that there was a dramatic shift to exploiting DeFi protocols in 2022. He stated that hackers can often easily access the blockchain's code and find vulnerabilities to attack. According to Plant, while attackers used to rely predominantly on phishing scams, now they're busy attacking DeFi protocols directly. So there is sort of a silver lining here, since Chainalysis also reported that fewer people than ever before are falling for cryptocurrency scams. While this week's hacks aren't likely to go down in history as John Dillinger-style epic bank heists, Temple DAO hack was, quote, worryingly simple. And you add that to the fact that someone literally outlined how the Mango hack could happen on a public Discord channel, and it paints a pretty questionable picture of stolen funds. So how much more money is likely to get siphoned out of DeFi protocols before some big regulator steps in and pulls the plug? That's frankly not what any of us want to see.
So that was a video about a summary of just some of the hacks that, note, all 4 of those hacks happened in this month. And some of them only happened like roughly 2 weeks ago. It was like as soon as we thought we were done with the bridge hack with Binance, all of that happened. So as they said, on one hand, yay, more people know about what phishing is. In fact, I had a recent job thing where we actually had a training module about phishing, and it was actually really competent. So good for everyone there. The problem is, as we migrate to what's called Web3, right, where, I kind of agree that when most people talk about Web3, it's more snake oil stuff. But basically the idea is that, Web 1 was the stuff I grew up on, where you made CSS and you accidentally made one of your lines of text fly off to like 8 billion characters over, and making, weird psychedelic GIF backgrounds, and having a web ring and a counter of how many people visited your website. And at the bottom it said, this runs on Netscape Navigator and Oracle, and this was made in Notepad and stuff like that. Web 2 was kind of the shittier version of that, where it's like, hooray, we got rid of Flash, but on the other hand, now all the code is so meta-tagged and confused to fuck that you basically need a PhD in programming in order to make a picture appear on a website. And now Web3 is that same idea of making it like really fucking PhD, but now you're incorporating blockchain tech into it. And currently, which is kind of the big reason of why Web3 hasn't been adopted as a thing, unlike Web 2, there is no native stuff for Web 3. Like there's there's just beginning to be, like, for example, Brave browser has adapted Web3 stuff. There's certain versions of experimental things in Firefox and Google Chrome where Web3 stuff, but there's no native browser. Like, you can't load up Chrome and instantly connect with Web3. You always need a middleman like MetaMask or something like that. We're going to get into more of those sort of things later this year and early next year, but I just wanted to give this rundown. And so, oh God, so that's a major kind of problem with it. And the other problem is that even, especially if there's more browsers that are integrating with this stuff, with between MetaMask and all this stuff, it's really easy to middleman all of these services communicating between your browser and your computer and your wallet, all, and their server and their chains, all and just there's too many ways you can enter in. And because a lot of these people are snake oil people, so even if they had good engineers, they were more focused on buzzwords and getting the content out there rather than properly putting security on any of them, especially since blockchain tech is so young. We're seeing all these exploits happen of like shit that most people on AWS would never even dream of doing. Unfortunately, is now implemented in a lot of bridges and such. So this is something that you're going to see that's ongoing. Before we get into, because now it's going to get really weird after this. If you thought tracking blood supplies, giving out cryptocurrency gift cards to kids on Halloween, and all these terrible hacks are spooky, wait till you see some of this other stuff that is coming up. But before I get into that, I do want to remind that, again, as much as we normally just live stream just for the heck of it, we do have a cause this month, something that's truly scary because it's been affecting a lot of people, and that is we are trying to raise money, ideally $400 for the National Abortion Federation, which, if you haven't heard, again, we're the New Jersey group, we live in the United States, and people who have uteruses basically had their rights stripped away. And because that right under Roe v. Wade was a privacy ruling, all American citizens had their rights stripped away federally across the nation, and states are now running to lap up all of that spying and drudgery and all of that for all American citizens in general. So we thought we would support an organization that would fight against that, and that's what the National Abortion Federation is. They are both providing boots on the ground, physical protests. They are providing finance stuff to keep a lot of, not just abortion stuff, because I know abortion's the big scary Halloween word, but, just general sex education and sex health and things like that. Like you have a blockage in your peeing area, they provide funds for that. They also are providing lawyer teams because they really want to overrule the overruling. So that's basically what they are. If you have any fiat cash to donate, $1, $5, or $10, we're handling it through Tiltify, which is an independent third party. So we're not touching any of the money. They work with a ton of amazing charities, including National Abortion Federation. You can click on that link. You can also scan that QR code with your phone if you're more adept with your phone. And if you're on Twitch, you can scroll down. There's a little widget where you can donate directly without having to move away from watching my lovely face. Because we are the cryptocurrency show, if you are like, I hate fiat money. Fiat money is one of the worst things that have ever happened in the universe, and so, I'm shit out of luck. Like, I have a ton of crypto to donate, but, Tiltify won't let me. Well, you can also donate to our alternate group, Medical Students for Choice, which are the actual surgeons and doctors who are out there providing sexual health resources directly, clinics, surgeries, things like that. And that also includes abortion. And you can donate not only any of the major cryptocurrencies, but you can also donate a lot of altcoins that have been popular lately. So there's a ton of them. We looked at them earlier. Basically, have no excuse. If you donate via Tiltify and fiat money to the National Abortion Federation, we get a notification that pops up the same way if you follow us on Twitch, DLive, or YouTube, except instead of just saying, yay, thank you for following us, when you donate, even if it's just $1, we worship you the entire screen. You also notice there's a little leaderboard up there, and currently Chirel is the highest person donated so far. Also, don't worry about the $400 goal. Any amount that we're going to hit by the end of October is going to go straight to the National Abortion Federation, and I will thank everyone on that stream when we do. If you do donate via cryptocurrency a giving block, just show us the receipt for that, like DM us on social media or send us an email at info@defcon21.org, and we will also cheer you on in the chat. So just reminding everyone out there about that, because now it's going to get really spooky and really weird, and this is us basically wrapping up the episode. So let's continue on, and let's see more blockchain horrors. And the first one up is, as I said about the giving block, there's a lot of altcoins out there. There's still altcoins being made A lot of them have turned to shit coins. And a lot of the shit coins were earlier coins during the crypto rush, where after the big five basically got established, everyone and their mom, because, you know, blockchain and the whole concept of it's open source, and so they were forking, you know, Bitcoin's template, Ethereum's template, as they should. Everyone and their mom was creating their own cryptocurrency. It's kind of like the early video games, which led to a crash, which is probably why we're seeing a lot of crypto crashes now, where because Quaker Oats and Barbie and everyone could create their own video games, it just led the market and it crashed. That's kind of what virtually happened here. So if you think about it, there's a coin for it. We've covered all sorts of crazy things in the past. There are cryptocurrency for religious Christians. There's an episode that we're still working on where there's cryptocurrency for your workout. There's cryptocurrency for pets. There's cryptocurrency for all sorts of stuff. But what if there's a cryptocurrency for the worst people out there? Now, here's the thing about the cryptocurrency of worst people out there. Honestly, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, Doge, they already attract the worst people. Elon Musk, enough said. But what if there was a cryptocurrency that was specifically towards truly evil people? And I found one that serves those people directly, and another that doesn't exist anymore, that while maybe they attempted to have good intentions, kind of is fucked up with what they did. So let's go to the first one. Let's take a quick look at Evil Coin. As their slogan says, evil we trust, always do evil. And literally, as they say in their About section, the purpose of this coin is to embrace and inspire evil. Fudders and trolls are evil, so they're welcome there. Pump and dumpers, you know, those snake oil scams are evil, so they were also welcomed on that coin. Launched in December 3rd, 2015, and it works on X11. It does both proof of stake and proof of work. The proof of stake minimum is 1 hour. Proof of stake max is 172 hours because it's based on an older protocol. They matured it by 5 blocks. There was a, let me count the numbers here. There was a 21 million max coin supply. It was actually competently set up. We have different wallets, which I would normally run, but this is for evil people. I don't want, I'm already running Windows in order to do the live stream. That's evil enough. I don't want to give Microsoft more ideas, okay? But yeah, this was a coin that was entirely for evil people. Who'da thunk, right? It even has like a cool logo. Like this looks like a New Jersey Horror Con logo right there. You know, it's funny because DCG 201 next year wanted to attend one of the two. There's all these major horror cons in the United States, and 2 major ones are in New Jersey alone because we're that fucking weird and crazy. And we've actually always wanted to attend one on the spooky premise of crazy, evil, weird shit on the internet. So maybe we'll reach out and see if Evil Coin wants to sponsor. Who knows? They do have a GitHub. There's not much here. It's just a repeat of what they say on their website here, and we can look at the source for really quick. So let's see. So we have the same ad, alerts, the check queue, all of that. Let's look at the hash. It's in raw bytes, so we're not going to load that in browser. Let's see. Can we load the... Okay, so everything's a raw file on here, so we're not going to look at too much. Before we move on, I do want to look at what they say with the install commit. Here we go. Building Evil Coin. See doc recommended to RS for instructions on how to build Evil Coin QT, intended for end users. We might try to build this at the end of the episode. I had a different idea for the end of the episode, but basically, this is one of the things that we've also forked on our GitHub. So you can go check our GitHub, which is listed under DCG 201. If you're on Twitch, right next to the donation widget for Tiltify, you could donate to the National Abortion Federation, is also a GitHub widget where you can directly click on this repo and follow along with us, or you can do your own research. But that was Evil Coin. And also, by the way, you can tell that this is truly evil because look at the languages. It is 75% made of C++, which already wants to make me cry, and 20% C. It's fucking hell. The only way this could be worse is if it had any C# in it. Patched together by assembly, bits of HTML for interaction, the make file to quite together, and QMake. But 75% C++. That's already bonkers hell right there. So, like, if they probably had to do this modern day with stuff, they'd probably make it out of an outdated version of like Rust that only runs in haiku. Like, it's not compatible with Linux, but it's compatible with GNU Herd. That would be modern day evil coin, in my opinion. And obviously, Elon Musk would fucking love it after he buys Twitter and ruins it. So the next thing we're going to look at that is particularly Halloween-y, after we've done evil, is a really cool idea that I'm still mad that didn't get off the ground. This is called Shivers, where these next two things we're going to be looking at through the Wayback Machine because they don't exist anymore. If you go to the modern URL, which was shivers.io, it doesn't exist. But this was really cool, and I think if it was launched today with a little bit of modernization, maybe listed under Polkadot, maybe even Holochain, I think they would have something here. Maybe, you know what? I'll put it this way. I love Shudder. Yay for Dragula, my friend Erica Clash. They're making a new season where they've invited her back. Go Erica Clash, yay. Love that stuff. And, I love horror movies in general. Maybe Shudder should take a look at reviving this project. Could be a really cool thing. And what it is it's all, again, an actual good use to some degree for NFTs. And the idea is that it's basically like Shudder or Netflix or something, just for horror films. And this is targeted for people who make, low budget horror films that you still need a ton of licensing fees and stuff like that in order to update stuff like Shudder. This is both an ERC token and NFC platform where the horror film itself, which could be a horror film concept in of itself, is an NFT. And when you purchase it, you can watch the film, you can own that copy. There's no like when Netflix go down, they take your rights away. You're not renting a license. You own that license, so you own that video copy of that film. Like it's like a VHS but digital. It also ages me. And you can also send that NFT to someone else if you want, and they can see the film or sell it. That's up to you. And the ERC and the token system in that was also allowed to pay for filmmakers and gas fees and to keep the website going. And so it's very interesting. It's a blockchain distribution platform. And I really, all the CSS is broken on this because of the Wayback Machine. But like, I am sad that this did not take off. This was made years ago. If I remember correctly, I think this was made around the same time that Evil Coin was. And I'm just so sad that it just never got off the ground because I would love to see this concept explored again. Again, they literally, 5 years ago this was created. And there is, once again, a GitHub for it, but there's really nothing here. All they really have left is the actual Solana contract for the token, which we can see here. It's a typical Solidity contract. And that's all that's left. And I just feel very sad because I think this could be a very cool concept that, again, similar to the blood chain thing, would actually be a good use case for blockchain technology. So let's go to Evil Coin's sister. And what's really nuts about this is there were two that were competing for the same concept. So in past episodes, we have covered concepts such as how, in the very first episode including, we've covered how you obtain a cryptocurrency. And the most common way to do that is by trading existing ones. Nowadays, you can often exchange other cryptocurrencies or fiat money to directly buy them. Those are usually the really big ones. Or, which was more prevalent back in the day, you would actively mine them. And there's different ideas for mining, but the base idea is that you put in something and you get the coins out. Hence why it's considered mining. The original was proof of work, where your computer had to solve some sort of mathematical algorithm, usually to uphold the chain itself. And for an amount of proof of work you did, you would get one or whatever amount of coin. This caused a huge problem around the world that we're still suffering from because most of them either focused on your GPU, CPU, or both. And because of that, one, a lot of people just bought a ton of CPUs and GPUs, causing the current diode shortages and for a while a graphic card shortage. And it was using more electricity than most countries. So it destroyed the environment and destroyed the economy. Thank you, proof of work. So most places transitioned over to what's called proof of stake, which is more business minded, where you put in a ton of coins. Essentially, you vault your coins, you put them away, and they gain value. And the more you hold on to them, the more cryptocurrency you get out of it. But there's been other works that we looked at when we covered Chia 2 years ago. They had a proof of space, in which it was all based on the amount of storage that you had digitally or physically, because remember, the cloud is always someone else's computer, and also cloud hacks are always some other one's computer pwning your computer. We've seen other proofs of concepts, but there were 2 coins that came out in 2020, the year where everything came to an end, that had a different concept, a very evil concept. And that concept is simply called proof of death. The 2 coins that we're going to take a quick look at is Corona coin, which no longer exists. And even though they don't really exist much either, they still have the website running normally. Corona token. They tried to call it Corona coin, but Corona coin was already taken by another group, so they made Corona token. And they have slightly different implementation of this, but it's pretty fucked up, to be honest. And so the idea of proof of death here, there's 2 ideas. One version of, quote, proof of death, and this is where they're both similar. When the World Health Organization was trying to track COVID in cases, they actually had an open data. We looked at it during 2020 on our live streams that kept track of the numbers of how many people were dying overall every day, as well as between each countries, how many were sick, how many died, and etc. And both of these coins built their entire blockchain and minting system on the data from the World Health Organization. One of them, which is the slightly more altruistic one, Corona coin, the OG Corona coin, one, they claim that they wanted to get the word out there, but it was an ERC20 compliant token, and basically every time, if I remember correctly, someone died and was listed on the World Health Organization, it would mint a coin. Now, they claim that they mint these coins, and that's supposed to be like each the hash in there was supposed to link to that person, so it's supposed to be a way to like honor the different people out there. But in reality, again, this is a coin. This was used for money stuff, so there's just, I mean, money overall is always usually built on the suffering and dead people of others, all finance and humanities like that. There's something even more weird imagine if every single, I mean, technically it's true to some degree, but imagine if the U.S. minting system worked that by every single person, whether it was a U.S. soldier, a child, or whatever, was shot in Afghanistan or Iraq, that every time someone died during that war, they minted $1. It's that type of thing. It's like literal blood money. This is, again, why they probably don't exist anymore, because a lot of, even in the horrible snake oil Elon Musk world of the cryptosphere, they hated this. This was bad. No one wanted to deal with them. Now, I will give Corona Token one benefit itself, which is that they were donating chunks of their coin, which did go up in value, to charities that were directly dealing with the medical stuff going on during COVID-19. People debate if that was them covering their ass for ethical reasons, or if this was a legit thing that they didn't quite think through. Nobody knows, but that's them. Corona Token, on the other hand, takes the same death concept in a completely different way. Again, they claim their relief effort, but whatever. And it is what they call deflationary effort. So the idea is that the total supply is based on the world population, and that basically they made X amount of tokens, and that each token is burned once every 48 hours on the amount of, based on the number of infected and fatalities. So basically they start off with a token, and then every time the cases go down, they would burn that token. And these tokens were tradable and fundable and all sorts of stuff out there. And they also, again, were donating to the Red Cross. Still kind of a bad idea to make cryptocurrencies directly based on actual human suffering and death. Just putting it out there. Nasty website, though. They used to have a Discord and stuff. I was actually on their Discord for a while, and you can still go and check out their Reddit, even though there has been activity on it for 8 billion years on here. But, yeah, kind of spooky. And what's weird about this is, like, this is all new to us now, but in, like, when I'm, like, 50, 60 years old, I'm going to have to, like, explain, when our kids, when they get to, like, the cryptocurrency section of the history books, because unfortunately, no one's going to exist, especially if we get proper USD digital, like, proper digital currencies from countries. We're going to have to explain this to our kids the same way with, like, Tide Pods and Donald Trump and whatever the hell the UK government currently is. Of what the fuck was this? So that's just horrifying and scary. And this is not like a thing that was like in the background. This made news. These two coins, two of them, actually fucking happened. Like, wow, and holy shit that this was an actual thing. So we're almost done here. Quick shout out to, there's an actual Halloween coin, believe it or not. Apparently it was designed for digital trick-or-treating. It was made 1 billion years ago, back in 2017. From what I understand, it doesn't run or exist anymore. It's interesting that you can also run it on Raspberry Pi. I don't think I can't remember if I actually got the GitHub running. That's the part I'm trying to remember, is did I get the GitHub running? So old, they both have NVIDIA and CPU miner settings that you can look at on their GitHub. So let's open that, see if we can get that go. Oh, no, that's a download. We're not downloading anything. So just a quick shout out that is an actual Halloween coin. And yeah, we do actually have it. The problem is that there's really not that much out there. We can look at the source really quick, because it just says the RCP port and where it connects to. So again, just similar to Evil Coin, we have very similar stuff. Let's look at the Cryptor CPCP. So this is the actual file here. So we have all this. OpenSSL, string vector, identifies. There's multiple clients, but I think this is definitely the Windows version. At least this actually shows the code instead of dumping as a raw file. Thank you, Evil. Well, I can't complain about Evil Coin being evil bastards, because that's literally their MO. They are Evil Coin after all. But just like with the other stuff, not only can we fork this on our GitHub so you can look at it pinned at the top, but if you are on Twitch, you can click on our GitHub widget and look at it from there. So what other weird, fun, spooky stuff is out there? Well, here's an even scarier idea. Okay? So non-fungible tokens are NFTs. Boo! I know, everyone hates them now. Even people in crypto hate them. But it does kind of make you think, these are supposed to be permanent markers for tangible items and even events. So you can get an NFT which shows your ownership of, unless you right-click and save it, art, pictures, virtual items like actual physical models, things like that. Maybe things that commemorate you going to a concert, you donating something to charity, you winning a tournament, things like that. Usually, often they're applied to purely digital assets, and they're usually applied for like something that you gain, like it's like a carnival thing or something that you bid on. But when you think about NFTs, which are basically a permanent marker for something, it kind of reminds you of something that exists in real life. And that's where we get to this crazy concept. Titan Casket, which is an actual company that makes caskets and gravestones, came up with the idea of using non-fungible tokens under Web3 to make NFTs that are essentially virtual tombstones. You can take any sort of bit of digital art, 2D, static, 3-dimensional, whatever, and under their service, you turn that into an NFT, and their Web3 portal is a literal virtual morgue. This is the classic version that will memorialize I don't know why Diane's on here. This is like the famous people section. But people who once lived. So this right here is a literal wall of death. This is part of the, so far on the classic version, 1,024 memorial blocks. These are all different people, some of them celebrities, some of them are not, that have once lived and are now dead. You can click on the picture, that's their number. And they have a page on OpenSea that mirrors all of this and everything. So as it says here, Remember is made of 3 parts: Remember.place, memorial block, and biography. The Remember.place, where all 1,024 memorial blocks are located and biographies are displayed. You navigate to Remember Plaza. Memorial blocks are NFTs minted through a smart contract, which files an ERC-72, which is kind of interesting. Let's actually look at the polyscan of this. Yep, this is the memorial block, and these are all the mintable ones so far. Pages, 79 pages worth. Holy crap. There are a total of 1,000 memorial blocks, because this is the original one. Because and then the final thing is the biography information, which is actually listed in the actual individual blocks instead of the hashes. It's the actual obituary of the person. And this is the classical one, then upgraded to this, as they like to do. It's called Remember, the world's first commemorative NFT and dedicated metaverse. And, you know, they try to make it in like a general thing, but in reality, it's an actual virtual mausoleum. And it's one of the things they start off as generic art is, if you can't have a unique thing like your picture, you can choose a memorial stone, which is like this. It's kind of like Bored Apes, but I think they look a lot better than Bored Apes, because this actually has some work in it, even though you could tell an AI obviously did it. It says each memorial stone is original and dedicated crafted artwork that provides a unique way to celebrate the story of your loved one. Powered by Ethereum blockchain, each commemorative memorial stone NFT will stand proudly at your chosen location throughout the Remember metaverse. So they're taking this all in 3D now. So it's not the 2D static wall of classic. It's not this. This is an actual like VR world here. Your memorial stone will also serve key as your personal memorial hall, where you may keep, curate, and cherish the memories of your loved ones. And it's all located in an actual metaverse that is a literal mausoleum in a virtual world. And I believe that, which we're going to look at, and I think this is our final video, we have a quick video of the virtual NFT mausoleum of dead people. Let's check it out. This is absolutely nuts. It's even more creepy that the name of the company, Remember, sounds like one of those like fake dystopian companies that sound like that they're doing some amazing beneficiary service, when in fact what they're doing is kind of horrifying. Now I will point this out. This is obviously really creepy. I'm going to look at some of the memorial stuff on OpenSea as I talk about this. Okay, we just had a little bit of like a little fluctuation bump there. But like I was saying, you can make a comment about, oh, this is like all snake oil-y, and it definitely feels like it. Even if their heart was in a good place, this is just kind of crazy weird, right? However, I will say this, I don't think it's completely weird. It's weird that they're using blockchain and like a virtual Zuckerberg terrible metaverse concept. But when you think about it, we already have virtual tombstones. Ever since people have posted stuff on the internet, especially the farther back you go, a lot of those people aren't around here anymore. And provided that the servers are still running, all these people, all their stuff that they did on the internet, are their actual tombstones on the internet. People's web pages, web pages that were archived by textfiles.com that had maybe a website on Angel Fire or Tripod or something. Those people that died, that's their tombstone on the internet. People's live journals, people's archived MySpaces, even modern day people's Facebook. There's so many Facebooks and Instagrams and stuff who are not being updated anymore because those people are dead. There's been people, Nexpo and other people have made like creepypasta YouTubes about people like that, people who documented their suicides on Instagram. I know this is heavy subject matter, but remember, Halloween episode, I even put a like warning, this is like mature stuff on this particular stream. I mean, hell, even in my life, when my mom passed away in 2016, I had to, because it was an option by then, archive my mom's Facebook. And that's her tombstone on Facebook. That's her literal tombstone. It's even crazier because she was cremated, so she doesn't have a tombstone in real life. So this is actually the closest she has of her tombstone. I had a classmate who, funny enough, this is I think the first time I'm admitting it, I was jealous of. He wanted to grow up to be an actor, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to dox him, but he wanted to be an actor, and he was good looking, and he was very never treated me bad or anything. But I just hated him because it's like he was what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be this shy, weird, awkward kid. I wanted to be that guy. And then I found out my hate was kind of unjustified because it turned out he was a really good actor. He was hiding the entire time in high school that he was suffering from a form of cancer where he only had a certain time to live. And instead of wallowing over it, and even though he was suffering, he managed to act through it because he wanted people to remember him of who he actually would have been if he didn't have this life illness than if he did. And I'll never forget, he had a MySpace, and his MySpace went from decent amount of activity to the entire comment section just being post after post of people in my graduating class mourning his death. This was like a year after I graduated. So yeah, even though it's kind of weird of the idea of having an NFT virtual tombstone, we're already having these even without cryptocurrency. And we're going, as things are going to develop, again, people have had funerals in World of Warcraft, in like, I've seen funerals where people, because they virtually can't get together, like maybe they all played like Halo or Call of Duty, and they'll literally load up a map, and instead of shooting each other, they hold the virtual funeral there for their friend. This is the sort of stuff that's happening. And when you think also about the pandemic, where, especially if a future one happens, which I hope doesn't happen in my lifetime, but when you think about like that whole thing where people, they couldn't go to a physical funeral and stuff, like this has been our reality, and it's going to keep developing into that. So do we need NFT versions of this? Probably not, unless you want to have organization system, and even then you don't need an NFT system to do this, but it's not such that of a strange concept as you think. So let's go off that depressing subject and end the episode on two quick things. So the first thing is something I literally found out today when I was compiling stuff together, and this thing just randomly popped up. I think this is really cool. And the last things we're going to be talking about, so we started off with vampires, with blood. we looked at blood. We looked at trick-or-treating. We looked at evil people. We looked at even more evil people in the size of altruism. We looked at cool digital movie services. We looked at dead people on the internet as NFTs. And finally, let's talk about when those dead people don't want to stay dead anymore. Let's talk about zombies, my favorite thing. I was a huge Walking Dead fan, still kind of am. Even before that, loved George Romero's movies, saw Land of the Dead in theaters, met a lot of the original cast. I love zombies. Love zombies in any fiction. Resident Evil fan, hence the Master of Unlocking. That's where I got the name for that show. That's the lockpicking show that hopefully will happen later this week, but will definitely resume in November. So there's two zombie concepts in cryptocurrency I want to talk about, besides Elon Musk's relationship with women. Rug zombie, not to be confused with Rob Zombie, which I hope he doesn't find this out and like tries to sue these people, because I think this is pretty neat. So what rug zombie is, and I had originally a video explaining this, but unfortunately it didn't copy well, so I'm just going to read about it real quick, is, as I said, there's a lot of shit coins and cryptocurrencies that just never went anywhere, right? And so instead of just leaving them existing there, this is, you take your worthless tokens that didn't go anywhere, those shit coins, those altcoins that became shit coins and died, and you can then transfer them, their value, to actual relevant cryptocurrencies and NFT platforms that you can actually use using an intermediary called Zombie Token. This is pretty neat. This is a way to make sure that old cryptocurrency projects are not dead. And that way, if you get screwed over by something, you can still redeem the value that you're lost. So if you were following a cryptocurrency you were investing in and it tanked, kind of like Stadia and its video games, you can move it to something else and still get the value from it. So you can create, as I said, NFTs from the dead tokens lingering in your wallet. And then you can boost those NFT by liquidity by proof of stake, aka putting them in tombs. I love the names of all these. And then obviously spawning pools is where you earn NFTs by staking Zombie, and you can then use partner projects for them. So it's just a great way to take your worthless shit. It's like a thrift store and making it into something that's actually useful. And this is pretty neat, and they also have like games you can play and stuff. I want to explore this more in a future episode. I just wanted to shout this out. In fact, I'm going to copy paste the URL, and we actually, if I remember correctly, also they have a GitHub. They have a very extensive GitHub for all their stuff. This is just the front end alone that we also fork, so you can go to our GitHub or the widget if you are on Twitch and take a look at it for yourself. But there's sort of stuff here, but we're not going to look into this today. We'll look at this in the future. I don't think we'll wait all the way for Halloween for it, but we can definitely take a look at it. I just want to check one other thing on here. So I just want to see. Open NFT on OpenSea. Left side of my screen. Oh, Nifty Scanner. So I don't know if it popped up, but yeah, I installed this extension called Nifty Scanner, and it lets me know of a bunch of data stuff. I don't think it sadly popped up on here. And I don't... Oh, it did. Yay. So yeah, this is a cool extension. You do have to waive some privacy stuff, but I only use this browser just for NFT stuff. But yeah, this is... You can open anything on OpenSea, and it'll give you specifications about it. So confidence score, not... it's 40% off-chain, so it's very decentralized. Using IPFS, there's no metadata and no smart contract verification on Etherscan. And because of that, they're like, beware... Might be a little scammy, which, you know, again, NFT Tombstones do sound like that. So the last thing we're going to do on this episode is we're going to return to crypto zombies. I'm going to end this. See, the past couple episodes, we've been trying to run code, and it hasn't worked. So I figured you guys all deserve, on Crypto Barons, the show where we're supposed to be running code and looking at code and checking it out, at least a little bit of coding. So I thought that we would do a third quick return to Crypto Zombies, where you basically learn smart contracting and other cryptocurrency programming, blockchain programming techniques by making a cool cryptocurrency zombie game. Now, we've been here before. We did one episode where we did some basic stuff, then we did some advanced concepts, which drove me absolutely goddamn crazy. Let's see if I'm going to try to find a quick one that hopefully we can do. And... let's see, What should we do here? And then we're going to end the episode. Because again, you all deserve this. So let's see. Let's see about data feeds. It's either going to be data feeds and computation or testing smart contracts with truffle. Let's choose. So data feeds, computation, or truffle. Which ones do you think we should do? It's either advanced validity with the smart contracts and truffle or the data feeds and computation. I'm going to try data feeds and computation. See how long this thing is. So it says here, it's from Chainlink. Getting more impressed by the second. But how will you fare if we looked at combined real world and all the change information with our beloved zombies? This lesson, we're going to go over Chainlink and oracles. Blockchain oracles are devices that connect smart contracts and the zombies that we program with data and computation from the real world, such as pricing data on currencies, random number generations, and other types of data sets. Blockchains can't interact with outside world, and they are intentionally isolated and deterministic by nature. So all we have to do is to trust one of these devices to honestly deliver our data, and we're all set, right? No, duh. We're a hacker show. What do you think? At least not until there is a social trust or you come up with a decentralized version of accessing that data. You're doing all this work to build your smart contracts in decentralized context. You basically ruin all the effort by putting your data in centralized form. See, that's why I love crypto zombies. They actually make sense and live up to the values that Satoshi put out there. That means you can either deliver the data by yourself, that you're still centralized because you're in center point. When your smart contracts include data or computation from oracles, they are considered hybrid smart contracts. Many of them are the most successful decentralizations applications, including data from the external world. Let's quickly just see how long this is. If it's not too long, we'll do the full thing. Oh, it's only 12 sections. Okay. Let's see. Let's try to see if we can do all 12. If not, I'm going to give myself 8 minutes to go through all of this, and then we'll end the episode here. Now I'm going to just zoom in a bit more. All right. Chapter 1, Chainlink Data Feeds Introduction. Now, let's suppose you're building a DeFi app and you want to give your users the ability to withdraw Ethereum worth a certain amount of USD. To fulfill this request, your smart contract, for simplicity's sake, we will call the calendar we'll call it the color contract here from here onwards. Must know how much one Ether is worth. And here's the thing. A JavaScript application can easily fetch this kind of information, making requests to the Binance public API, which we know how all of that went with the bridge. But a smart contract can't directly access data from the outside world. Now, we could build JavaScript application ourselves. We introduce centralized blah, blah, as we covered. So we're going to do a decentralized organization network, or DAWN. We're going to access the DAWN. See, it's already scary. We went from vampires to now zombie mafia bosses. This is terrible. And decentralized data sources. So let's see. What do they want us to do here? This is kind of the overview of it. See visualization of these dawns here. Let's see what they're talking about real quick. So yeah, this is Chainlink's own like different network main nets and stuff like that, and like all the users and organizations that they use for the data sets. So we're gonna go how these networks work in later lessons. So first we're gonna learn how to read data. The first thing we need to do is start a contract and import the Chainlink code. So let's see, some of this should be pretty familiar. All right, so in the box right, declare a prima version. Okay, so solidity, so it should be, we should just type in, because it's been a while, by the way, so I'm probably going to screw this up. Actually, I think just for time, we're just going to try to do this first one here and then end the episode, and then we'll go back to this in a very future episode. Let's see, now we want to declare a new project called Price Consumer. Current version of Chainlink aggregator interface is version 3. However, as Chainlink adds more features to the interface, this version changes over time. When you name your contract, let's append this version itself for the reference, declare a new contract, primary consumer 3, and leave the body of the contract empty for now. So oh, I don't need the dot. Okay. Let's try again. Alright, since I don't really have my time limit, let's just show the answer. You know, I love how I always get killed by semicolons. Not colons, semicolons. I think that's great. And then, of course, I forget that contract tag. Again, it's been a while since I've done this, everybody. So I think we'll do one more of these, and then I think we're good. Oh, it needs to be pushed over. Now what? I did everything here, didn't I? Okay. There we go. It was just the comments were in the way. Okay. Let's see. Import NEP and from GitHub. Now that we have our contracts, pull the price from another contract. We need the interface. So we have to import from NPM. So that's GitHub. Yeah, NPM. The thing I don't like the most. So we want to import aggravator v3 interface from the chain link GitHub repository, which I didn't know about ahead of time. This is the GitHub for it. Little tiny text. We're going to explore Chainlink in the future. That's why I'm not willing to do the whole lesson. So we're going to do this one and then be done with the episode. So interface will be functions needed to act with Chainlink data feed contract, including functions like last round. Here's what the full interface looks like. So pragma blah blah blah. So we declare functions, decimals, external return views, unit 8. Yep, this is the stuff we covered before. And then description, and then versions. And then this is getting the round data. External returns, function, last round data. And then you can find the aggravator. And then we can either import directly from GitHub or from the NPM packages, which they list here to get the contract. So we're importing the contract here. This is the NPM in JavaScript. Frickin' NPM. Hate them, you love them. Work chain links, import the chain link contract. Okay. I just want to see what you would actually do here. Wow, it actually didn't. Okay, there we go. Oh, so we're literally just importing this. Okay. That's what I thought. So import, and then we literally copy pasta, since I already did the brackets, this whole thing into import. Okay, why did I screw up? And once again, the semicolon. Whoop, semicolon. Now what did I screw up? Oh, there's no at. This is at chain link. Yay, that worked. So yeah, that was just a little taste of using Chainlink. Again, I've wanted to do Chainlink as its own future episode. So we're going to leave it at that, and we'll probably resume this in either November or December. So that's basically the end of our show. I'm going to warp back to face mode here. Hope you enjoyed the Halloween episode here. I know it's before Halloween, but it's spooky season. Next month, I'll get into next month in a moment, but we'll be covering something different. I just want to thank everyone for watching Crypto Barons. I could have been at Crypto Mondays today. Yes, Crypto Mondays is a really cool meetup that happens most Mondays throughout the year in Lower Manhattan. You can go cryptomondays.io. I recently went there, and it was really... Oh! I'm dumb. I didn't notice someone. I apologize. I don't know if this was recent, but foot pics. Oh, this is going to be clipped. A user called Foot Pics for Sale donated $25 towards the National Abortion Federation. Thank you so much, Foot Pics for Sale. I wish I had noticed it earlier. I was probably too distracted trying to do the whole chain link thing or rambling about something earlier. Thank you so much for the $25 again. Right, that's who you are. Yes, we met at HushCon. Yes, I remember that. I plan on attending HushCon again this year. I didn't make it to PumpCon, unfortunately, this weekend because of craziness in my life. Hence why I'm streaming today instead of Saturday when I normally stream. But yes, yes, I know. We feel it's a very important cause. You know, a lot of people could say, oh, we're virtue signaling and stuff. But one, it affects all Americans. And two, again, we try to explain things in a hacker way. Even if you don't have a uterus, this is a privacy issue that affects everyone. Like, everyone's affected by this. It's just horrible. It's horrible all around. Just like the United States. Horrible all around. So yes, thank you, Footpicks for Sale, because I remember they had this whole thing there where it was like they had like an OnlyFans looking shirt, and each of them had different usernames. One of them was Footpicks for Sale, and really awesome people. I hope to see you again. Hopefully, when we announce, I will say this: we plan on having finally, because here's the hint, a physical meeting in November. I've been working on a new venue on this. We didn't get in time for this month, but we are going to do something different this month that will semi-make up for it, because I really don't want to miss a Hacktoberfest. Yes, only feet. So thank you for donating $25 for the National Abortion Federation. I'm going to post that charity link if anyone wants to donate, because you don't have to donate while we're on live stream. It just helps because then we worship people like Footpicks for Sale. I can't believe I'm talking about Footpicks, feet fetish things while talking about donations. Uteruses and feet. That's all we talk about on the DCG 201. But I just posted the link again if you want to donate. You know, $25, another one would be amazing. But even if it's just like $5 or $10 or $1, that just helps. Every time we've gotten to our goal or beyond our goal, it's because all of those little bits add up. So Footpicks for Sale is actually now the top donations, that they beat the previous person that I listed on that. So now every time we stream, you will see Footpicks for Sale on that board, and we're going to mention them for the rest of our live streams to the end of the charity run, unless you donate like $25.50 or $26 or $40 or something more to knock them off the leaderboard. And because it's through Tiltify, again, because we don't handle the money, because, you know, we're hackers, we don't even trust ourselves. If you have cryptocurrency and you don't trust fiat money, you can also, here's the link. You can also donate via the giving block, which we covered last December. Where are you? For the Medical Students for Choice, which, if National Abortion Federation are the EFF for sexual reproductive rights, regardless of your gender, but especially focusing on abortion for people with uteruses, Medical Students for Choice are the actual doctors and clinical people that actually deal with not only major things like abortions, but even base things like handing out condoms, sex education, STIs and STDs, things like that. Anything to do with your crotch area, they end up handling. And these are the actual doctors for it. And for some reason, it didn't go through on Twitch, but now it did. So that's the crypto one. I'm going to do the previous link so that you have options for there. But that's the end of our show. So we covered a lot in the span of roughly 2+ hours. It was our spooky episode. We started off with trick-or-treating with Bitcoin. Crotch doctors, yes. That should be a whole section of the biohacking village at DEF CON next year. Crotch doctors. Crotch doctor. Maybe I should cosplay as that at DEF CON. Who knows? But hey, I won't stick out any more than that guy that surfed all the shit water in Vegas this year. So whatever. But thank you for watching Crypto Barons. Again, if you want to donate, whether it's fiat crypto money to these two awesome organizations, I put that link in chat. Our website is still being worked on, so you can go to our Medium blog at defcon201.medium.com. I'm posting that in chat right now. And you can also follow us on multiple social media, such as our Twitter at DEFCON201NJ, or Instagram at DEFCON201, but we're on all sorts of different things. I just posted the master link on the link tree in chat. We're on, if you can think of a social media thing, we're pretty much on there. And even though it's less active, we're going to get more active later this week on this. I will guarantee that. But if you want to chat, and I try to come in once a week on this just because I can't really deal with this a lot. But we do have a Discord. The pound CTF is normally good CTF stuff, but that's the link to our Discord. It's discord.gg/P, capital G, lowercase g, capital P, capital N, capital E, capital F. That is capital Pygmy, capital Gamma, lowercase George, capital Penis, capital Nutella, capital Electronic, and capital Foundation. So that's that link right there. You can go check us out. I can mention real quick that the next Crypto Barons, if everything goes right, because we normally do the second and fourth Saturday of every month, that should be the 12th. And I have a bunch of topics I could do. I'll tell you a topic that I want to do the next episode on November 12th. Might get delayed to the second episode in November, but basically, would you believe me if that there is an actual cryptocurrency-backed, blockchain-based, independent nation state. Not like Argentina that has adopted Bitcoin or whatever, an actual independent nation state. Like they have their own flag, their own constitution, and everything that is built on the blockchain and is funded by its own cryptocurrency. That's going to be at least one of the 2 episodes in November. It might be on the 12th. I will announce it the second week of November, what exactly the episode is, but that's the plan. The next 2 episodes should be on November 12th and November 12th and November 26th if everything goes correctly. Again, pay attention to our blog and social media. We will be announcing what we hope to do later on this week in lieu of a hybrid meeting because, again, couldn't get that done in time. So stay tuned for that. If you are on Twitch, don't go anywhere because while we can't host things anymore directly, we are going to go raid a channel. Usually we might raid something cryptocurrency related, we might raid something tech related, we might raid something that just makes no sense and is absolutely insane, but we are going to forward you to somewhere on Twitch and you can say hi to those people there. So stick around if you're on Twitch. We'll be going to them in a moment. But that's it for Crypto Barons. Thank you for watching this episode and channel. I hope you have a safe and happy and spooky Halloween. A lot of the stories that I listed there between crypto blood, NFT tombstones, all the crazy hacks, evil Corona coins and stuff will probably keep you up for a while. Hope to see you next episode, November 12th. I'm Sidepocket, one of the 2 founders of DCG 201. We hope you check us out. Remember to stay tuned for the Twitch raid if you're on Twitch. Hack the Planet, Dirty Jersey represent, and remember, do not make a cryptocurrency based on people dying from a major plague. Even if you donate that to charity, that is just a bad idea. Also, check out Footpicks for sale because they're going to constantly make me repeat that name over and over again. I guess you could reach out to them in chat. And thank you for donating the $25 for a good cause for people with uteruses and Americans across our nation. Peace out, enjoy the music, and say hi to whoever you raid. Bye-bye. rating and one click.